Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us as always. It's Thursday, another beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'd like to say that always. I do get to do it again tomorrow. Cooler, less humid conditions, a beautiful weekend in the store, warming up. We'll talk about your forecast from thereafter in just a few moments. It's Thursday, and the 13th of August. We'll also talk about today's date in a few moments. It comes with a whole lot of thanks for a couple of reasons and some other things. We'll talk about a whole long list of birthdays to share with you tonight. More on that in a few moments. Headlines tonight will include more discussion as it pertains to concerns about flooding and also floodplain maps and growth coming out of the Painesville City Council. A problem that they say is stifling any potential growth within that city. I've got some other governmental news. We've got a few other updates and some information. And before I get into anything, I so hope a lot of you are hearing me better now than you have been for quite some time. We've been daily getting your concerns about low audio on Channel 40 on the Foothills feed, and as of today, after a phone conversation with Bob Ward over at Foothills, they think Bob does that is pretty much fine-tuned, and even he says now there's even a little more room to bump up the volume should we need to do so. So I'm hoping that I'm reaching you with sound as I should be. I want to thank you so much for letting us, and please let me know when there are issues. The only thing that does concern me, and I want to make sure, a lot of the calls yesterday seem to be isolated in one particular part of McGoffin County, mainly over in the Middle Fork area, so I want to make sure that there's not some other hardware problem maybe out in the field, so to speak. So let me know if you've been calling and letting me know that you can't hear me. Call me tonight and let me know that you can, if that is the case. And if you can't, let me know that as well. But we think we're certainly on the right path to getting all those audio problems worked out. Bear with us. It's been a changeover process. It's been in the making now for weeks, actually months now, and still some to come. So bear with us. It's just been a very, very detailed process, to say the least. With that said, I don't have it on the calendar tonight. I made mention of it the other night. I wanted to mention it again, and then I'll remind you, I guess, starting next week. But the Heritage Day schedule has been released. I've got that in full detail, and I'll get into that a little bit later on in a few days. But sign-ups have been set for the McGoffin County pageants for the Heritage Day Festival. That's for the Baby Miss and Master, Little Miss Master, all the pageants. The first sign-up day is going to be, and I have to check my calendar, 1 week from tomorrow, next Friday the 21st, from 10 till 1. Then the following, I believe it is from there, and then a couple of days thereafter. They've got 3 days set aside. The first one is 1 week from tomorrow on Friday the 21st, 4:30 till 6 at the Historical Society. Now this is ages 0 to 12, boys and girls, $20 per entry. And we'll be going over your Heritage Day schedule for you in just a few days. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Community Day, which is, can you believe it, it is this Saturday starting at 10 a.m. We've been showing you the lineup now for days. What we can't show you is everything that goes on because there's not a commercial or this show that's long enough to do so, but tomorrow we'll make an effort to let you know about what new and exciting things they have planned this time around for the event, which has become a staple to so many nonprofit organizations and the entertainment of this part of the country, and it draws a lot of folks from elsewhere, neighboring counties, states, and even elsewhere. So more on Community Day tomorrow, as it is this Saturday in the Raymond Park under a beautiful sunny sky. That is certainly some good news. More often than not, when I'm having to put out some sort of a warning or an announcement as it pertains to our senior citizens, it's because of a scam or something of that nature. Well, that's not the case tonight, but the reason that I am posting this is related to having to post information and announcements and warnings about scams, because if there weren't scams out there, I wouldn't have to tell you about legitimate studies like this one, which is about to be done, and it involves a lot of local seniors, possibly about 16,000 people altogether, as I understand. And nowadays, out of a fear that most individuals, understandably so, would assume that a knock on their door may be for some sort of a scheme or fraudulent purposes, well, they want to make sure everyone knows about what is going on. Marlene Howard, director of the McGoffin County Senior Citizen Center, asked me to post this on tonight's program to let everyone know about the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. It's the NORC at the University of Chicago. They're doing a very important study, and it's going to involve a whole lot of folks in this particular region, part of a 16,000 person study altogether. There's a good chance that you may be selected to take part in an important study. It's called the Medicare Current Beneficiary Survey. Some 16,000 people are going to be scientifically selected. This is at a random process, for a random process, to represent the Medicare experiences of other Medicare beneficiaries all over the United States. They are undertaking this important national study. They say it is designed to provide information on health care experiences of Medicare-eligible persons across America. They say that they're going to be interviewing selected Medicare beneficiaries in selected areas throughout the United States, and that includes here in the viewing area. It's a research project called the Medicare Current Beneficiary Survey. They're going to collect urgently needed information about health problems of people in Medicare, the types of Medicare they receive, and the cost and affordability of the care and medicine they need. And the information will be used to analyze health care policy issues and to provide planning of health care services. The study is set to begin in September. They'll be contacting individuals and asking them if they would like to participate. If you would like to participate, well, they would like to hear from you as well. Contact Marlene Howard at the Senior Citizen Center. She can direct you to information to get you in touch with survey personnel if you want to be a part and share some thoughts that you have on the Medicare program. For now, another reminder, as you'll have maybe one more tonight and definitely one tomorrow, about Community Day this Saturday. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Wrapping up coverage tonight of this week's regular session of the Paintsville City Council, they did take a vote, a unanimous vote, mind you, to keep the motor vehicle and watercraft tax at the same rate that it stood now for about 8 years, and that is 11.48 cents per $100 of valuation. There was also reappointments made, according to Mayor Porter, to the Housing Authority, those of Dolores Pickle, L.T. Goggins, my apology, I believe it is, Paige Porter, and Gary Melvin. The mayor is the fifth and final individual to sit on the Housing Authority in Paintsville. They also made an appointment to appoint a committee to make recommendations on the direction of proposed annexation. Similar to Sagersville, the city of Paintsville is also undertaking a proposed annexation effort, and the mayor has appointed a committee, or has asked to appoint a committee, who will refer back to him on the proposed or the direction they should take for that proposed annexation. There was some discussion, though, about flood ordinances, and not just because of the terrible and deadly flooding which hit Flat Gap in Johnson County, but because it's also time for all local governments to approve floodplain maps. It's a common conversation that all governments are having, city and county, at this time, as flood maps are updated so often. However, on this time around, one councilperson, Bill Mike Runyon, voiced his concern that the floodplain maps are part of the problem and they're stifling growth in the city of Paintsville. The comments came about after some discussion between the council, the mayor, and their attorney, Jeff Baldwin, in regards to a motion to amend the first reading of the flood control ordinance, as is done periodically by, as I said, local governments.
Final determination on the floodplain.
Well, all this brings up a question for me is we can't get people to buy properties in this city because they've got to pay so much for flood insurance. And I don't understand why we can't get that changed. Do we have to go through?
Federal, it's a determination made.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we as a council, and we can sit here and disagree on the Stafford House all we want to. I mean, that's fine and dandy, but if we're really going to do something, let's try to find a way to get some things changed in Washington where this city can grow again.
I agree.
Point's well taken, Bill Mike, and you're exactly right.
I'm off my soapbox.
No, I mean, I wish someone would go up there to represent us, and I don't care who goes, and because we're not the only town that's the same problem. And I know when my stepdaughter lived on Frank Street, she bought the old Eric Gray house, and one section of her front porch was in the floodplain, so she had to pay flood insurance. Bill Strickland pays flood insurance on 5th Street. My granny, who lived across the street, didn't have to because, of the way it was. And it's set up, like you said, you could ask for a variance. But we need someone to go back for people here. to do that. I agree.
We are the only small town in eastern Kentucky that has let them move the courthouse out of our town, the post office out of our town, and then build a road around us. So we're gonna have to do something sitting on this council. I don't care who we have to talk to. Try to get something changed for this city to grow in.
Following a few more remarks, Mayor Porter said that he would, first of all, request a meeting with Hal Rogers and anyone from the council who wished to attend, and that they would take up the subject from there, but all were in agreement that it was an issue that the city of Paintsville needed to look into. A little later on in the meeting, also going on to growth to some degree, Councilwoman, Sarah Blair, mentioned that certain properties within the city of Saggers were not being maintained by the property owners, and that was having an effect on property values.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I'm just curious as to what
And
the
I mean, I
process.
know that some of the people are sick, but go ahead, Sean, I know the process and stuff. Some people are sick, and the bank's taking it over, and I know that's the case, but it's our town, and I have to look at it every day, and so does everybody else.
We have actually noticed how many houses, about 4 or 5. Five houses, and instructed them that we are going to demolish the property and place a lien on it. The problem we've got is it costs somewhere between $5,000 and $8,000 for each piece of property we demolish.
Mm-hmm.
And with the unavailability, I guess, of funds, it's been hard to put $5,000 to $8,000 on 5 pieces of property to demolish those properties, although they very surely need it. And I agree with you. And I would love to be in a position to do that.
Yeah. Who's responsible for keeping these properties?
Older. I mean, when you're talking about cutting grass, getting rid of trees and things like that, that work, give them notice and say, we want to do the work. If you're going to do it, we're going to do the work and put a lien on your property for the value of the services we provide.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a less expensive measure, is just to do the work. Now, if you're talking about demolishing a property, that's a little trickier. They're essentially.
So then those properties that we're looking at, those people have been notified?
It was also agreed that that would be a topic that they would be revisiting at a later date, and also looking as to what avenues they had to encourage or see that landowners either demolished or cleaned up targeted properties that were seen to be dangerous, unsightly, or even hazardous to the citizens of Paintsville. Up next is your McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, and it has perhaps in all the years I've been here, a record-setting number of birthdays on it. Birthday wishes that start off with a happy 93rd today to Robert Cecil Arnott, who, according to Avabian, is just a marvelous farmer, was a tremendous World War II vet, and makes for an awful fine papaw. Happy birthday to Robert Cecil Arnott. Happy 93rd from Avabian, Rick, and Jenna. Hope you've had a good one. Other birthday wishes this Thursday the 13th go out to Gracie Kenny with a whole lot of love from your husband Tony and granddaughter, and I hope it is Raven if it's someone's handwriting that I can read, and it's my mother's, so I hope I got that right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Gracie Kenny. Happy birthday to Joey Salyer. Love Dad, Jackie, a whole lot of family, a whole lot of friends. Other birthday wishes go out to a whole lot of folks, and I'm just going to say us. It's my birthday today, and I was I was overwhelmed and a little bit floored a few moments ago when I checked any announcements that I may have been sent today on Facebook for the show. I found how many folks have taken a moment out of their day to wish me a happy birthday. Pretty moving. Thank you all very much. I don't know how to thank you enough. I also noticed that it tells you there who you're sharing birthday wishes today, and just friends on my list include Joanne Ratliff, Barb Baker, Linda Montgomery, Martha Lamaster, Crystal Reisner, Kimberly Howard, Lauren Hensley. I didn't know Lauren and we went to school together, shared a birthday. Tricia Puckett as well. All have birthdays today on the 13th of August, and I thought that was pretty cool and worth mentioning. So happy birthday, guys and girls. Happy birthday to all of us. A reminder about the big fish tournament, bass tournament, this Saturday evening at 6 at the Alfrey Boat Ramp on Cave Run, sponsored by the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church. Big cash prizes. You might not even have to have a big fish, just the biggest to win. And you can also register the day of this Saturday, or you can call 743-2211 or 548-0118. It's the third annual summer bass fishing tournament sponsored by the Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church. They got a big tournament, big turnout, and a whole lot of fun every year, and somebody's going to win some big cash prizes. The Royalton Trail Town Committee is meeting at the District 3 Fire Department this Monday, 6 o'clock. All Royalton residents are encouraged to attend. The public's also invited. Everyone hearing this is invited to attend, and you also might want to consider serving on a committee. They need your help. They're trying to become a trail town. It's a big deal. I mean, a big support and boost to the town of Royalton and the county of Magoffin, mind you. So call 859-608-1557 if you have any questions about the meeting or how you can help them with their efforts. The Kentucky Public Retirees is a nonprofit organization working to protect the retirement future of Kentucky retirees and stakeholders. If you're retired or eligible to retire, join them by attending a meeting set for this Tuesday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the Magoffin County Senior Citizen Center. If you have any questions about what this means, why you might want to be there, call 884-6280 or 859-608-1557 and find out more about a Kentucky State Retirees and Stakeholders meeting. The Tip Top United Baptist Church is having a revival, and it starts Wednesday of next week, Wednesday through Saturday, starting at 7, Sunday morning at 11. Homecoming will be Sunday morning as well with Brother Etsy Allen. They've got special designated preachers each and every night next week, and I'll tell you more about it on Monday's program. And just let me tell you now, this is how you get announcements, birthdays, anniversaries, and the like on the show. Mail, phone, fax, email, Facebook, drop them off here at the studio. And remember, you can always catch programming again, or if you missed it, on yournewstoday.com. Turning to funeral service announcements, a service provided by our friends at the Magoffin County Funeral Home. I only had a partial announcement at the time, but I have since received a full list of arrangements to be held in honor of 81-year-old Aaron Arnott of West 460 here in Magoffin County, who passed away on today's date. He was preceded in death by his wife, Alma Bailey Arnott. He's survived by sons David Allen and Matthew Noel Arnott and a daughter, Aretta Arnott. Visitation is going to be after 6 o'clock tomorrow, all day Saturday, and then up until services, which have been set for Sunday at 2, all of which from the Magoffin County Funeral Home, with burial afterwards at the Mann Cemetery at Bloomington. Once again, in honor of 81-year-old Aaron Arnott of West 460 here in Magoffin County. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. A portion of the regular session of the Johnson County Fiscal Court held earlier this week is now null and void, so to speak, as I referred to last night. Judge Tucker Daniel mentioned in the meeting they were still awaiting at the time word from FEMA, which came yesterday during a disaster declaration approved by the President. However, there was another significant portion of that meeting that dealt with sewer expansion in Johnson County. Judge Daniel described how a discussion that took place years ago, basically by happenstance, looks as though it will lead to funding for a sewer line expansion project that will greatly serve a vast number of residents in the Van Leer community and branches off of that area as well. He says about 8 years ago he was contacted by a gentleman who was working with Tetra Tech Engineering, saying, you know, there might be some funding for a sewer project in that area of the landfill that serves that part of the county near Van Leer. The company, about a year later, he says, put in an application with the approval of the judge at that time, and he kind of forgot about it. But in the last couple of years, the subject has since come up, and that representative with Tetra Tech has said that they have gotten some footing with that project, and it will give a vast many residents in the area of Van Leer and elsewhere sewer for the first time. He also says it will go to eliminate or cut the material going into the landfill and the associated cost of dealing with it. And of course, it's a win for the community, the residents, and the environment.
The benefit of this thing is if they lay a sewer line all the way from Paladition to the Van Leer landfill, that's going right up 302. It's going to Huh? Going up Miller's Creek all the way to up on the hill there, you know. And the city of Paintsville, and it's a win-win for them because as that line runs up there and it's bringing that stuff out of our landfill, that liquid right now, the landfill has leachate that's liquefying and running out of there into tanks. And we're having to have the tanks pumped. We got water wells we've drilled to take care of to make sure that the water is not being contaminated. But we have to have those things pumped and hauled off. Well, this thing gives them the opportunity to have a free sewer line laid. Don't cost them anything. And they can hook up customers as they go up Van Leer and past people's houses. They can hook customers up on that system. So it's a win-win for everybody, and it don't cost them anything. Except when we met, Eric and I met 2 or 3 times with Tetra Tech, and they said that the funding would only be for a gravity type system. And that gravity type system they think would be sufficient until it gets down to somewhere in the neighborhood of McKenzie Addition up there.
Yeah.
It's a very short stretch from there on down to Powell Addition. And they said they may have to be, the engineers said they may have to be a pump station from there down to Powell Addition. And Eric talked to the board at Paintsville Utilities, and they said, yes, we would be willing. We will fund that if we need to. It'd be a very slight charge based on what the value of the 2 or 3 mile section would be. So I hadn't heard anything about that for probably a year or so, and then they called me again Friday. Said that they were fairly certain it looked like that we were going to get that funded. They wanted to know if I would be available tomorrow, as a matter of fact, with the City of Paintsville and the State Water Division water guys to meet here for them to talk about trying to fund that project. And I said, are we talking, are you serious? Are you telling me that this is closest? I'm telling you that we could be breaking ground fairly quickly.
Judge Daniel said still no guarantee at this point, but that everything was pointing in that direction. Will keep you up to date, as it would be a significant improvement to the area, as for all the reasons that have already been mentioned. A couple of words of thanks that I want to make sure I get in right after your forecast, so be sure and stay tuned tonight. Got to catch up here. Gorgeous, mostly clear, 56, a little fog later on. If you didn't catch the Perseids last night, I tried, and right at 1:30, when they really started to build, clouds rolled in. Yeah, that's after I bragged on the conditions. Tonight, we got another shot. The peak was 3 o'clock in the a.m. last night or this morning, but I'm going to try it again tonight. We'll see how it goes. Tomorrow, look for patchy fog at the onset of your Friday, sunny and 84. We're seeing temperatures creep up just a little bit. Humidity levels will start to pick up for the weekend, but it's still going to be great and beautiful and close to what it should be for August. 85, mostly sunny after a little fog on the first half of your weekend, partly cloudy late. Temperatures back closer to where they should be, 64 degrees for nighttime lows. Sunday, mostly sunny and 87 degrees, getting a bit warmer. Also, we'll have partly cloudy skies above and 65 on Sunday night. No fog really in the forecast for Sunday night. Right now, though, we are looking at a chance of some showers on Monday. Right now, I've got a 20% chance, that's all, and it's mainly after 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, still with partly sunny skies. Temperature still in the mid to upper 80 range on your Monday. Chances for showers will build into your Tuesday, but nowhere do we have temperatures that are anything but 83 to 85 next week. And we've got more sun right now than we do clouds. That's a good thing. Definitely a gorgeous day tomorrow, and for the following weekend, I hope everyone has at least a little bit or a whole lot of bit to enjoy the beautiful weather. And once again, I cannot express how humbling it was to have all the birthday wishes, which I'm still yet to go through. I'm looking forward to that portion of my evening, but I sincerely want to thank you all. Wish a very happy birthday once again to all those who I shared it with today, as I've learned about a whole lot of other folks celebrating on the 13th day of the 8th month. Thank you so much for sending a little message my way and taking a little time out of your day to do so. Really appreciate you all being with us here each and every night. Couldn't do it and wouldn't want to do it without you. For now, have a good evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow for more Your News Today.